Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. My salutations to all spiritual gurus here and my respects and regards to each and every participant. When she uttered the name Defense and Strategic Studies in a peace conference, what am I supposed to be doing? I'm a student of warfare. There is a separate education. We all talk about peace education. We talk about professional military education. So we go to military academies and teach. So that is our profession, that is my bread and butter. But there is a lot to do. There is a lot to do with, peace. So how are we going to look at this entire perspective? I, in fact, was wanting to talk about SDG 14, that is life underwater, because my area of specialization and interest is maritime security affairs. But for me, this is the first conference, that I'm attending, a peace conference I'm attending. So I thought I'll give my reflections on what I felt from what I have been listening since yesterday. Quite a learning for me personally, but I have some reflections to make. I will start with what Swamiji said, who spoke just before me. He pitched the entire paradigm of peace with a minimalist notion of peace. Because peace is an amorphous term. Let us please understand and agree. Peace is highly a relative subject. Yesterday, Mr. Saga was explaining, correct? So he asked somebody, he asked his wife, he asked his child what peace is all about. It's absolutely a relative term. It's absolutely a subjective, term that we use. So how do we use from the military? What is it? We have one of the largest forces in the world. Please remember, I'm talking about India. You have the second largest, armed force. Army. Your third largest air force, and we are going to be reaching a sixth largest navy very soon. And you have big coast guard. They are all securing your borders on the maritime front, and we are all happy talking about peace here. Because there are people who want to gobble up at any point in time, there are eyes prying on us. They are jealous of your growth. They are jealous of everything because it all emanates from feeling of insecurity. What we call a security dilemma. We all undergo this dilemma day in and day out. As individuals we undergo, also as nation states we undergo this dilemma of security. And only when you feel secured, you would be able to be comfortably talking about peace. Isn't it? So without security, there is no peace. So we need to understand that as a first, this thing. So absence of war, he very prominently brought in. So that minimalist notion of peace is nothing but the absence of war paradigm. I don't know whether you have heard of these terms. You talk about peace, but what peace are we talking about? We talk about the negative peace that he mentioned. A coercive peace. Peace can be purchased. Peace can be, imposed. You would have seen peacekeeping forces. Peace enforcement. Peace can be enforced. Where there is absolute anarchy, you go there to enforce peace because it's very important, because there the very concept of peace changes. Isn't it? So this coercive peace, it works. It works through deterrence. So there is something called negative peace. There is something called coercive peace. There is something called deterrent peace. There is something called cold peace. Peace can be cold. See, when you say calmness, not that every time when we are calm that we are relaxed. Calmness can also trouble you, sometimes. Say, for example, I made a mistake. My mother didn't talk to me for a day or so. That absolute silence, no communication from me and my mother can trouble me like anything. Then I have to go, Mother, I'm very sorry for whatever that I have done. Then she comes back and tells me it's okay. Uneasy calmness, that's what we call cold peace. So from that minimalist notion, what we have been, since yesterday, the great leaders have been talking about the maximal notion of peace.